On stage, you should feel and act and dress and talk like the anime version of yourself.
That's the best way I've heard that put, yeah.
Sort of vibe with that.
I refuse to elaborate.
I hear you.
Agis, I've seen you on stage. Actually, you live life like the anime version of yourself, so I don't think you can really speak on.
I think all of us do.
That's the even broader moral is I think people should be more willing to live their lives like a character of themselves. If you would like encounter a random person on the street, I think they should walk away from that interaction knowing a little bit about you. Do you look at your wardrobe and think like, yeah, this is me? Do you look at the things you eat, the way you talk, and think that, yes, this is me? There are idiosyncrasies, there are flaws, but they are my flaws. If your music's going to be flawed, it had better be flawed in the same way that you're flawed, not in whatever way the current trend is flawed.
Better be flawed in you saying this snare drum is so compressed and sounds like trash and has a little bit of like digital decay or something, but I love that sound.
No one else would have made that specific sound other than me, so I'm going to dive into it.
Or is it, damn, Lorna Shore used this other snare drum, so we need that sound. Producer man, please give me the snare. Producer man, I'm thirsty.
Hey!
I need it.
Super Deucer. Give me the snare with the short decay.
Too long.
Make it snappy.
I need that shit to go bada bing, not bada boom, you know?
I want you to shoot me and put a mic at the gun and a mic at my chest.
And then a mic in the other room.
The mic on my friend who's behind.
I will say this. There are certain instances where there are musicians who are the best. And when you go to see them, it doesn't fucking matter what it doesn't matter about the dress. Because the music is so good, you get sucked out of all reality. And it's just the music. You know what I mean?
I don't care what Felix Pastorius wears on stage. If he's playing bass up there, I'm going to be there for it.
True.
Yeah, no, there's definitely that case of like, your music speaks for itself. It's just, that's much more of a rare thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't personally know many people who their music can speak for themselves, just baseline. Like, there are people whose music are phenomenal, but it's like, it's not.
Well, it takes a level of age, experience, practice, and discipline. And just outlook on life to get to the point of a master, you know? And I'll say none of us are there yet.
Yeah. Say, like, consider the Source. Don't matter what they wear on stage. They're going to go crazy. Don't matter how they move. They're going to go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about this prescriptively. We're saying, yes, people should dress in these ways. But at a higher level, it's more of a description of what tends to happen. Because the thing is, people who tend to have reached that level of mastery in life, you realize things about yourself. In order to become a great artist in that way, a lot of the time you need to dig really deep into yourself. You need to interrogate your artistry, not just in music, but in every aspect of life, including fashion. I mean, a lot of famous people dress like famous people, not because they're famous, but because that's how they choose to dress. A lot of the really idiosyncratic jazz musicians are like masters of their instrument, and they also dress flamboyantly because this intense feeling of artistry that's bubbling out into music also bubbles out into other areas of their life.
Mm-hmm.
If you can engage an audience without caring about how you dress or how you talk, that is fantastic. And that's a good sign of mastery of your instrument. It also can't hurt to be visually entertaining and be linguistically entertaining on the side.
Oh, sure.
A lot of the masters of their instruments just speak comfortably. They dress comfortably. Like, it seems like there's that whole deal of I mean, to master your instrument, you need to first come to terms with yourself as an individual. And so normally when you hear musicians who are insanely good musicians and you're there to hear them play the music, like those ones you're there to hear the music and like see them play it. Yeah, they know that that's the purpose of it. Like they don't dress in an off-putting way, but they dress in a very holistic to them way. Not any sort of outside influence, just what they want to wear. They present themselves how they want to. Like there might be in a part of the song where they feel really hot and they do a jump or something, and the rest of the song they're just stationary because they're thinking a little too much. I mean, not too much. I mean, as much as they need to, but yeah, it comes off as authentic and real. I feel a lot of people who say I'm being authentic to myself and real to myself are a lot of people who don't actually know who their real self is, and their self-worth is put into these other groups, these other aspects of art so hard that they don't actually, know who they are.
Right.
Their self-worth is based off the fundamentals of these other groups, and if they can imitate these in the ways they like, then they've achieved their self-worth, so they have to show it. Instead of just being like, I'm going digga-digga-digga-digga-digga-digga-digga-digga, and it sounds fun.
You gotta feel the magic. You gotta feel the magic in the music. And that's all you need, you know? All these things are gonna help you out up on stage. Because if you feel that magic, anyone can go 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you really feel that pulse, and you're not just going bum, 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 but you're going bum, 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 bum.
You say 1E and a 2E.
You put those E's in there, man. You feel every single aspect of it. Because you got to be the wizard that's controlling the sound. The elements of nature. You know what I'm saying? You got to blast that out into the people. And you got to understand that. You got to understand the magic. Because it's there.
I wanted to follow up with a quick question to the group of folks assembled here and also elsewhere, beaming in via my phone. Been talking about stage presence, constructions of authenticity and tone. Where do costumes fit into this? Costumes and masks.
Depends on the situation.
Where the costumes fit into it?
Yeah. Think Guar, think Mr. Bungle, think Sleep Token.
Well, it plays into the theatrics of what is a live concert. There's studio performance. You know, it's got to have that aspect of theater, and that's one way of doing it. So it's like, say I'm not the most charismatic person. The bird just flew in my face. And it's like, how do I want to convey the same energy that I want to the audience, even though I might not be the most charismatic speaker? I put on a big costume. And it gets the same thing across, because now it's a complete character they're seeing. And I don't have to be myself. I think for people, that's an effective reaction from the audience.
Puppets. I watched Sesame Street copiously. There's so many puppets that were awkward. Like, so many Fraggles that are awkward. So many just, Muppet-style puppets that weren't composed humans. But when they portray themselves in that way, like, it's like, it's a puppet. It's a fuzzy friend, or like something like that. Everything can be excused if you have a certain facade that you can put on, which is how do you choose to use it and what facade do you choose to use? Because what's going to actually let you be yourself and also tie in the energy you want? Like,
we all wear masks. Which one highlights the parts of your personality you want to on stage?
Are you going to wear a fuzzy mask? Are you going to wear a full metal mask? Like, what's.
And what parts of your personality fit with your act?
Because you get to choose it.
And what you want to do on stage, first and foremost, is not detract from your music. And second, it's to reinforce your music, make the experience of your music more intense, or add another angle to it to make people appreciate it in a different way. I mean, yeah, a lot of the time it is. Somebody knows that starting out, they don't have the capacity to go on stage and represent their music as a product of themselves as a person. So they put on a mask. The music can't be tied back to one person. Things that the audience might be skeptical about that they might write off if the person's awkward. They can't do that if there's not a person behind it. It's just a mask. It's also why I really appreciate Mr. Bungle's sense of theatrics, because it evolved, and as they got more comfortable with playing, some of them started dropping masks. Other ones started changing costumes. Like they started out with the whole clown thing. Mike Patton would wear a gimp mask. And then when they went into their like surf rock 50s pop thing, some of them started wearing Hawaiian shirts. I think the bassist started wearing a Goldilocks costume.
Zach, when you hitting that Goldilocks type beat?
When I get them Goldilocks, and when I can afford a wig, and when I have the physique for a dress.